Well, here it is. We basically just had the final episode of season 2 of Spy Classroom. And I will say that, of course, it had its funny moments in this one episode itself, but it really got dark and heavy and some other moments as well. But overall, such a good anime. It was a lot of fun. And definitely, season 2 was way better than season 1. And the final episodes in season 1 were boredom. So boring. And I guess it's because we didn't really understand the girls or know what's going on. But this season, after so many episodes, we really truly got to understand the girls, and the final episodes were way better than they were last season. Now, granted, the mission episodes are still better, still the best, and definitely are the ones that have the best writing. But that's because the mission episodes are like continuations. But I will say that this season all around was way better than the last season. It didn't feel like a tale of two anime, which if you saw my review of season 1, I essentially said that it was like two anime in one, where you had the file episodes and you had the anime episodes, and then we reviewed it and mixed it all together into one. This one definitely feels like a cohesive anime, and I do not feel like I was left out or feel down, but like, dang, I really just wasted time watching this. I definitely don't feel that way. Great anime, great season, and way better than the first one. Now that that's out of the way, let's first get to the funny stuff. Was the fact that, oh, Lily, of course, misunderstanding stuff, and then of course thinking that, getting some of the girls to think that Klaus is in love with them, and of course being young girls, teenage girls, some of them were like, oh, how is this possible, and a big mix-up. And of course didn't help that Annette, Miss Practical Joker herself, kind of fanned the flames to make it even worse. And then of course caught in the end, and everything was kind of fixed up. That was kind of half the episode, lighthearted moment. And honestly, at first you may think, why is this even in here? Okay, whatever. Honestly, it's great that they had a lighthearted moment in this episode, because if they didn't, this could have been seen as a very, very dark episode, and was really heavy on some things that are really true to even today's real world situations, which I definitely will clear up and explain, because I think for some people it might have gone over their heads and might have skipped over it and moved on. First off, this moment, Olivia. If you remember, she was the protege under Corp, and she and Greta had that mano-a-mano moment, and of course Greta was able to take her down. Now, she actually, in this moment, was acquitted. So she was found innocent of her crimes in this country. And at this moment, she's being escorted to the airport, so then that way she can fly her way home to her country. Little does she know that she is going to be given, as Greta said, a secret drug that pretty much will make her go crazy, and in 6 months' time, break down her mind, and more than likely she will die in one way or another. So right now, this is about the best moment that we have of Olivia, but Greta knows what they're going to do to her at the airport, and Olivia has no clue that somehow they're going to drug her, and it's going to mess with her, which I guess makes sense when you have an enemy spy in enemy territory, and then that enemy spy gets found innocent when you know she actually did everything. So of course the country's like, yeah, we're just going to leave. Goodbye. You're going to just leave. All happy, everything's going to be bright shining rainbows as you go back home. And then of course what? Get acquisitioned by your home country to be a spy for another mission? Nah, they're like, yeah, have a great day going back home. And we pretty much know her future, pretty dead in 6 months' time. It is what it is as far as that's concerned, which, like I said, is kind of a dark moment, but in the world of spies, it's understandable. Now, the heaviest moment of this whole episode, this right here. Of course, the whole episode, Thea's trying to figure out what in the world is this note supposed to say. She got as a memento from her mentor, Hearth. Now, of course, Hearth was her code name and was actually a mentor to both her and Klaus, and was the whole subject of what happened in the US as Hearth lost her life there. Now, here's where it gets heavy. Now, we already knew that Thea was captured by men and then rescued by Hearth, and we knew in the background, although it didn't show his figure, we knew it was Klaus that came around and helped out in dealing with all the guys with Hearth. You know, as Klaus is a young boy and Hearth is in the midst of training him to be a very good spy. Well, they go to talking, and as we know, Hearth takes Thea to a hideout where they spend basically time together. Now, we don't know how long. I would estimate maybe months together, especially as she spent time training her a little bit as she was a little girl, because we've seen the episodes. Thea as a little girl didn't know how to talk, didn't know anything about herself, and was essentially learning from Hearth everything, and learned how to be a human being from Hearth. Well, what Thea locked away and didn't even talk about, and until this moment she realized she was sexually assaulted while she was captured. And at the moment, it wasn't even talked about at that time, but Hearth knew that that was the case. And because Hearth knew that was the case, Klaus was never in the picture, because that moment was a sensitive moment for Thea, that having a male around might have been detrimental for Thea and probably would have brought back nightmares, have been an issue for Thea. So this never really occurred to Thea because those memories were locked away until now she realized, talking to Greta, that that is probably what happened to her. And they were also able to speculate Hearth's thought process was the fact that a lot of times, which is even true in today's circumstances, so we're going to talk, like I said, it's going to be a really heavy moment here. A lot of times young girls, whenever that happens to them, or worse, that they end up going down a path of self-destruction, if you will, like they even talked about here, where they may even be, to get over what happened to them, whether they know it or not, end up being more sexually aroused or more sexually inclined than they normally would have been. And Hearth knew that this might be the case for Thea because of what happened to her as a young girl. So Hearth decided to steer Thea in a way towards being a spy. So then that way she doesn't become someone that is in the field of jobs that deal with that sexual nature and such. So she now just realized this, and of course understands that, oh, this is what my teacher was doing. And by her doing that, the note opens up to her that says, it basically saying Klaus is saving you. Because now that Hearth has brought them both up and they're both together, that a sensitive moment when she was younger, maybe having a guy around and stuff would have been a problem because of what happened, that now she can rely on him. And even though Klaus knows that this did happen to her when she was young, he doesn't come out and reveal it to her because it's a sensitive subject, which makes sense. Overall, like I said, it's actually good that they had a very lighthearted moment in this episode, because this scene at first, it could definitely blow over people's heads what is really the magnitude of happening and being discussed in this case. Now, granted, Thea does use her feminine wiles in the spy field as well, but it could have been a lot worse if she wasn't in the spy field and been more destructive to her. And thus the reason Thea would love to have Hearth around and talk to her more. and love to see her again. So the conclusion to this episode goes over the fact that Serpent is still out there. Serpent is the group of spies that pretty much the Lamplight here is after, and also the group that Claus's master, the one that was over Bonfire, the previous spy group, defected to. And of course, you know, they don't know why. It was like, it's still unknown as to why. Even Klaus is unsure of why his master turned traitor and joined Serpent to fight against them and such, and then lost his life in that aspect. Well, we don't know anything, and right now the girls are kind of coming together and saying how they truly enjoy being in the group and want to continue and find out what they can do for the future. And honestly, this truly sets up the fact that we need a season 3. We really do need a season 3. At this moment in time, nothing has been said about season 3, whether it's not coming or whether it is coming. But I will say, with the redeeming aspects of this season being so good compared to last season, I am all for a green-lit season 3. And essentially the fact that season 2 came out so quickly. It only came out a couple of months after season 1. We literally are in the same year that it came out. So, you know, it would be nice if next year we get the season 3, but nothing's been said right now. And of course, I'll let you guys know if I hear anything. But aside from that fact, grading. We need to rank this anime, and I will have to say that last time we said that the anime was a Tale of Two anime, and that the final episodes were like a rating at a 6 out of 10, and then the actual mission episodes were rating at 8 out of 10, and then we kind of combined it and said that overall this anime is like a 7 out of 10. So, has it redeemed itself? Yes. This season was very good. Of course, had its moments that was like, what? And had its crazy moments like, oh my god. But overall, with this anime, I have to rate it a 8 out of 10. And not just 8 out of 10 for just file episodes or just mission episodes. Overall together, it's an 8 out of 10. Very good. Wasn't boring. Didn't have the moments where I'm sitting here like, oh my god, I wish this episode would just end. It had a lot of great moments, and still moments even in the beginning of the season that I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. It was great from the beginning. It was great to the end. And I am full well wanting to see a season 3. There's still unanswered questions on a lot of different things. Who is the secret admirer that one of our girls is really trying to protect? Why is Serpent doing what they're doing? And will these girls still be alive at the end of all this? Or will they end up losing their life because of different situations and adult things that kind of go into the spy world? So much to answer that we have no idea what's going to happen, and I can't wait for it. So Lord knows if we hear anything about another season, I will definitely let you guys know. But for right now, great anime. Loved a lot of moments out of it, and I fully will endorse this one for anyone to watch if you haven't already. If for any reason you're literally coming to the end of this just to get a rating so you can see if it's worth your time, yes, it is worth your time. If you start from the very beginning in season 1, you might have to go tread through some waters, but you will come out very clean at the end of it. Anyway, aside from that, I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed these reviews. Make sure you check out the Patreon. We will definitely be uploading the actual season that we've watched, every episode, and our reactions on Patreon. So make sure you sign up for the Patreon, and make sure you guys are subscribed for more analysis for this anime and several others. Because like I said, if season 3 comes, we will definitely be uploading it here for more analysis. In the meantime, you guys stay safe, take care, like and subscribe, and Lord willing, I will see you next time. Take care, Space Cowboy. Until the next one. Bye-bye for now. Make sure to check out the extra content on our Patreon page, and thanks to our current patrons.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.